as a mom and know this is terrifying, but she's got me. I'm taken care of here.
Perform surgery on these children before they've even been born yet to like correct these issues.
We offer everything. Any procedure you know of, we do offer it here. It's mom and the baby.
Take us through like what that feels like. That much pressure? What goes through your mind? From South Bend to Evansville and everywhere in between, this is Get In, the show focused on the Hoosier State and the incredible stories happening here today. I'm Nate Spengel, founder of Get Indiana, and I will be your host for today's conversation. Hey there! Before we jump into today's episode, I want to take a minute to thank the folks that made this nonprofit spotlight series possible, Elements Financial. As a credit union, they're a not-for-profit financial institution built on the idea of empowering individuals to achieve financial success. And they've been doing just that for 95 years, starting right here in Indiana. Now, they're based in Indy and proud to support Hoosiers, but their reach goes way beyond state lines. And they don't just talk about impact, they live it. Elements teaches more than 1,000 financial wellness classes annually. They pay their employees to volunteer, and they donate 1% of net profits to causes that improve lives. So yeah, it made perfect sense for them to back this series, because when it comes to supporting people doing good, Elements cares. Learn more at elements.org/getin. That's elements.org/getin and use code GETIN. Elements Financial, like a bank, only better. Federally insured by NCUA. Now let's get into this special nonprofit spotlight episode presented by Elements Financial. Today, meet two incredible women who are shaping the future of Indiana through their life-changing work at Riley Children's Health and Riley Children's Foundation. Dr. Mustafa is performing life-saving fetal surgeries while Meghan Freeman is building bridges between the hospital, the community, and the people who make it all possible. This episode is going to explore the future of Riley Children's Foundation with their new CEO and talk about what is happening in children's health at Riley Children's Health. It's going to be a wild episode. My mind has already been blown like 3 times, and we've been in the room for 5 minutes maybe. I'm really excited to welcome you guys here. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
I led with saying my mind has already been blown. We were talking about some of the work that you were doing, Dr. Mustafa, and like I didn't even believe that it was real. Like these were real operations, procedures. The work you're doing is incredible, and I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah.
Before we get there, I do want to establish the difference between Riley Children's Foundation, Riley Children's Hospital, Riley Children's Health, and the research that are going on. Meghan, can you talk about the different players in the Riley ecosystem?
So right now we've got Riley Children's Foundation. That's where I come from. And we are the fundraising arm for Riley Children's Health and all Riley affiliated research. So when we talk about Riley Children's Health, we're talking about a statewide network of care for kids from Evansville to Fort Wayne and South Bend. And then when we talk about Riley Hospital for Children, we're talking about our downtown location where a lot of our most acute care takes place. We also have care that takes place at IU Health North. We're in 20 communities throughout the state for some of the more ambulatory and acute services.
Okay. But providing care, right, to all 92 counties?
Yes, we provide care all across the state in all 92 counties to hundreds of thousands of kids every year.
Okay, I'm going to ask the softball question early. Where does the name Riley come from?
James Whitcomb Riley.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
Poet,
Oh,
yeah.
this is new to me too.
Yeah.
The Hoosier poet
The Hoosier poet.
from Greenfield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I could have probably pieced that one together.
So
that
after
makes
he
sense.
passed away, a group of his friends, and it's actually the foundation was founded 2 years before the hospital. So a group of James Whitcomb Riley's friends came together to form the James Whitcomb Riley Memorial Association. And so they raised money all across the state, including nickels and dimes from kids everywhere that came and eventually built the hospital itself, which initially opened its doors in 1924.
So 101 years old. Wow. Okay. Amazing. And what it looked like in 1924 is a lot different than what it looks like today.
Can you imagine what they would think if we were like, guess what we're doing? Guess what Dr. Mustafa is doing?
I can't imagine. Yeah. And so now I want to talk about this journey that, so with the work that the foundation is doing, obviously you're the philanthropic arm. You're raising money for research, raising money for, all sorts of things. One of those is getting top level talent to the state of Indiana, to Riley Children's Health.
Yes. So
correct?
Part of what we do, and one of our main pillars for Every Child Deserves Riley, which is our current $300 million campaign, is recruit and retain. And part part of the funds that donors give us go toward recruiting some of the best talent in the world so that kids in Indiana have access to that level of care without having to leave the state. And one of those amazing gets for us was Dr. Mustafa.
Oh, amazing. Okay. So, Dr. Mustafa,
Yes.
you're not originally from the state of Indiana.
No, I'm
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up back home in Iraq, and that's where I finished my med school.
Yes.
I got drawn to OBGYN from there. So then I met my husband in med school, and we decided after med school we want to, explore more advanced training, what other places have to offer. So we decided to come to the States, and that's where I decided to do my OBGYN residency here. I did it in Mount Sinai, New York, and then you'll see I'm very much into more training. Okay, I want to learn more, so.
Well, we were looking up, like multiple residencies and fellowships and all the stuff.
Yes, so that was OBGYN residency 4 years in New York, and during that time I really got into high-risk pregnancy, and particularly ultrasound on fetuses and stuff like that. So that's the route you take towards maternal fetal medicine. People know it as high-risk OB docs, or some people call it perinatology kind of thing. So that's like a 3 years fellowship that I did in University of Minnesota. And then I wanted to do even more than that, because that's where I got introduced to fetal surgery during my training. And I thought, I was told by my peers, my hand skills are really good, my surgical skills, my patient rapport. So I was fed by my peers, and I was like, okay, so if they see that in me, I should just take it to another level, kind of thing.
You're saying fetal surgery became like
Yes.
your specialty.
Exactly. So to do that nowadays, back then in the days, you used to get godfathered into that by being trained by someone in your institution, kind of thing. Nowadays, there's more formal training for it. So that's what I did, 2 extra years of fellowship in Maryland. And afterwards, I got recruited by the foundation and Riley.
So what was the time frame between you go to university
Yes.
and you get a professional job? How long of training and fellowships?
My nurse counted those years, I shall tell you. But basically, so pre-med, that's 6 years, and then 4 years, that's 7, and 3, 10, and 2, 12. So yeah, med school to here, 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of training. Oh my gosh.
A lot of time. Ask
my
my
gosh.
husband, he'll tell you.
Yeah. You met him in med school. Is he also
Yes, he's a physician, but he's internal medicine here in IU Health as
he didn't
well.
have the hand skill.
It's not about the hand skill. He's more of, I don't know if you watched House, the show.
Yeah,
House.
a great show.
He is just has that mindset. And he's very smart. He used to be top 3 on the class, and he just want to deal with the whole thing. And that's why he was not really into subspecialty. So he's doing the whole internal medicine field, if that makes sense.
Fetal surgery became your specialty.
Yeah.
And one rare condition in particular, right?
Yeah.
The twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, or
yeah.
TTTS.
Yes.
And so explain to us, you are known specifically, people come from around the country to
Yes.
work with you?
Yeah, so we get patients from all over Indiana and from the neighboring states. Even from Indiana, we get Ohio sometimes, Kentucky, close spaces. We get even far away. We just got recently a consult from Asia as well.
No way.
Those are more self-referred patients to.
That have just heard that you're an expert in this.
They hear about it, and they just
It's
reach
okay
out.
to brag a little bit in here.
No.
It's fine. I'll hype you up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So, but basically, we deal with conditions if the baby has something that might affect their survival or might cause a severe morbidity. So it's not like any fetal anomaly. Some of them, it's just we'll take care of it after baby's out. But it's those conditions that if we don't do something, babies might not make it.
Yeah.
Or might have really bad outcome kind of thing. So twin transfusion, the one you mentioned, is one of them, in which you have twins share a placenta, and one baby kind of bleed into the other baby kind of thing. So that results in a cascade of things that eventually, if you don't treat it, we might lose both twins kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we use laser surgery and to kind of identify those vessel connections between babies in which the babies are bleed into it kind of thing, and ablate those vessels. So that's like one of many offerings that we offer. At
Like,
the fetal
but you're going, like, you know, you guys, someone on an ultrasound or
Yes,
one of the
yeah.
pre-screenings.
Yes,
Forgive me,
yes.
I don't have kids, so I have
Okay,
not gone
one
through
day, one day.
One day I'll know, right? At the current moment, I have no idea what that process looks like. But somewhere in the process, you like identify
Yes,
this.
you identify on
this
ultrasound.
Yeah.
That's very smart. Yep. They come to the fetal center, so Riley Fetal Center.
And there's only 15 fetal surgery centers across the United States.
But even those, like, not everyone offers like the whole spectrum kind of thing. There are multiple things that you can offer. Some of them offer some of these things. We're proud that we offer the whole spectrum of fetal surgery. We'll talk a little bit more about other things. But yes, they come to Riley Fetal Center, which is in Riley Children's Hospital in downtown Indy. The foundation and the Children's Hospital built an amazing tower called the Maternity Tower. Till now, not everyone really knows about it, but we have an amazing maternity tower within the Children's Hospital that now we do all the labor and delivery and care for moms there. So all within the same building, moms and babies.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And that's where our operating room is. That's where the fetal center.
And so you'll perform surgery on these children before they've even
born.
been born yet to like
Yes.
correct these issues.
Yes, absolutely right. Yes.
I can only like, you know, they say like it's like brain surgery or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
that's like on a full grown human. I can only
Yeah.
imagine how
Yeah.
how long has this type of practice been going on?
So laser for twin has been about 1 to 2 decades kind of thing. But the newer thing is like the spina bifida. We just got the press release about like Riley now offering the surgery. So those are like defects in the backbone, resulting that the nerves like protruding outside of the bone kind of thing. So these are more newer, and we're offering it here at Riley, and it's a more advanced form technique kind of thing. So the technique that's offered elsewhere, it's called the open technique, and here we offer fetoscopy. So we go with cameras inside the uterus, fix baby's back, and come out.
So, doctor, what would happen? So, what happens when those babies are born without the type of intervention that you provide?
So particularly for spine, like for twin transfusion, if we don't treat it, they don't make it. Okay, so that's a survival issue. But for spina bifida, if we don't offer the repair, then those babies are born with severe fluid in their brain, something called hydrocephalus, that require multiple procedures, and they are born with problem movement in lower extremity. So some of them even are wheelchair bound. So the procedure helps preserve those nerves and prevent that continuous damage.
How old is that procedure?
That procedure is pretty like it started with the open technique a decade, but the fetoscopy has been only a few years, like the past 5 years.
So like how old would the first recipient of the open
I would say 2012, the open technique 2012.
So like there's a 10-year-old, let's say 13-year-old that's like getting ready to start driver's ed, whose life is completely changed.
Like the kiddos from back then, now they're making it into kind of late childhood. So the data are still building up on these type of things, because those kiddos who had it back then, now they're like, you know, getting into late childhood.
Oh my gosh. And so a lot of the work is it done through like laser and like that type, or like your
so
hands?
The spina bifida, it's all your hands, but it depends like what you put in your hands kind of thing. So we use, I don't know if you've had a friend or someone who had their gallbladder removed or appendix removed. They do like nowadays laparoscopy. So they put like small cameras inside. So we use the same technology to go inside the uterus.
Wow. A lot of times I use like, you know what, we're not like saving lives here. We're not curing cancer. Like we're hosting a podcast. Like you legitimately are saving lives. And that is incredible.
That's so sweet.
When you think about, you know, coming from Iraq to making it through, I mean, New York to Minnesota down to Indianapolis. Like, what was appealing about coming to Riley Children's Hospital for you from the provider side?
We talk as colleagues. There's only a handful of us in the country.
How many fetal surgery specialists?
MFMs who are fetal surgeon, about 20, 25 kind of thing. So we know each other really well, and we talk about struggles, right? And one struggle that many people can tell you about is the support, whether financial support, research support, or specialties support. And there's one major support is labor and delivery support. Okay, so you need the money to buy instruments, to get nursing support, to get OR nurses, to get sonographers, all that. You need research because everything you do is so new. You want to know how to improve, right? And then you need, very important, labor and delivery. Many of my colleagues struggle. They have to operate somewhere while the nearest labor and delivery, like if something happened during their procedure, the patient has to go by ambulance somewhere else. While I operate within one space where my neonatologist, pediatric surgeon, neurosurgeon, literally very close to me kind of thing. And then that's specialty support. So, okay, I operate on babies with back defect, neurosurgical problems. So I do need someone who's going to take care of these kiddos later on, neurosurgeon, neurologist, nephrologist, spina bifida clinic. So if you don't have these resources, you cannot offer this procedure. That's why I said many centers, they might be fetal surgery centers, but they don't really offer the whole spectrum because they don't have the support to offer those kind of procedures. So that was appealing in Riley. There was clinical support, money support, research support, and most importantly, multidisciplinary specialist support. I mean, the urology team here is top 5 in the country. Neurosurgery team here is the top something in the country. So of course I'll be drawn here.
Yeah, and I think that's a piece that maybe we forget about as Hoosiers, a lifelong Hoosier, right?
Yeah.
It's like when someone says, oh, so-and-so, like their child was in Riley, it's like, oh, that's serious, but it's like that's the hospital in Indy.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily think of it on a national or global international stage of the impact and how Riley Children's Health stacks up across the country.
Absolutely.
Megan, maybe you could speak to where that kind of like lies.
Yeah, so when we look at Riley Children's Health, we tend to come at things in a typical Hoosier humble mentality, when in reality, Riley is one of the premier pediatric institutions in the world. It provides, just like Dr. Mustafa said, that wraparound support for any condition. So whether you are coming in need of a stem cell transplant or any of these other massively acute conditions that kids have. We also treat just your standard well child visits. So Riley is not just for the sickest of the sick. I mean, we can and we do support that level of care, but we also provide care for general pediatrics. We also provide care in a way that is truly evidence-based and on the leading edge for mental health. So we are facing a massive mental health crisis in our state and in our country. And I think Riley is at the forefront of being able to provide mental health care and mental health support for some of these kids. We're now embedding mental health resources in home pediatrician and family medicine offices so that we will be able to support between 70 and 80,000 kids in their mental health struggles across the state. And then if you're looking at the work that Dr. Mustafa provides, it is that full spectrum. And not just that, Riley Children's Health is an actual children's hospital. So a lot of times you look at hospitals that provide pediatric care, but I would say are not. It's the same thing as when you go to a restaurant, okay? And you go to a restaurant and you're like, you have a kids menu, but are you family friendly? Those are very different things. And like, I'm a mom, so I understand when I go to a restaurant that has a kids menu, like, yes, you maybe provide like chicken fingers, but like, are you gonna be okay if like my kid, I don't know, knocks a drink on the floor?
Yeah.
And like, that is to a much, much smaller scale, what Riley provides from like a full spectrum children's hospital. So we have our child life resources. So they'll come in and help kids and really make some of those really scary moments less scary. We have Camp Riley down in Bloomington at Bradford Woods. And that's one of those places where, man, kids who have never had a chance to go to camp get to go to camp, and they provide kind of that level of care, one-to-one or one-to-some, so that they can safely have that experience. And for like the parents, they've never been able to let their kids go because they haven't had that level of confidence. Camp Riley provides that. We also have social work and a school program. So if your kid's in long-term care, they don't have to feel behind at school. And then it just gives a lot of onus to the idea of being a children's hospital, to being a family-centered place for care. And when Dr. Mustafa talks about the maternity tower, I can't underscore the importance of having mom and baby under that same roof and to be able to provide care for both of them. Like when we're looking at the child and the baby, Riley for years has been able to provide a lot of care, expert care for that child. this way, not only will they be able to provide care for the child, they're also providing care for mom. And so mom can get that same level of care that she needs, but doesn't have to leave her baby.
Yeah.
And in past years, it's been, you deliver at Methodist, and if your child needed to be transported to Riley, to the NICU at Riley, your baby who you have grown is now gone, like not in the same building as you, and then you have to go. And it just, especially moms who delivered at IU Health North, and then they had just, when you are a high-risk pregnancy or you're identified as a high-risk pregnancy, it is so important to have a full team wrapped around you, supporting your family, supporting your baby, and supporting your health so that your outcomes are significantly better. And you're coming in there feeling calm, feeling supported, and feeling like you have an entire team behind you. And that's what Riley does. That's what Dr. Mustafa and her team do. They give you all of that.
We might just have to cut the episode there. That's a wrap. Like it's incredible. Yeah. And you just made that in a 2 minute, 120 seconds. I get it. Like it clicks for me. And it clicks of like how Indiana's Riley Children's Health is known. And it's like competing with, I don't know, you talk about Minnesota, you talk about New York, you talk about these big places, like being one of 15 fetal surgery centers in the country. Like that's cool. There's only 20 specialists like you in the world, in the country?
In the country.
Like that's honestly, nuts. Like that means there are 30 states that don't have one. Well, I like it when we have stuff that other states don't. I'll say it.
Yeah, and many states don't have it. I mean, until like Riley decided to build the program, there wasn't in Indiana, and people had to go to other states to get those care, and then stay away from family, from your loved ones, travel distances, and it's so stressful being pregnant and being told all these news. Yeah,
I'm gonna pull a family story in here because I've never got to say this one on there. My grandmother, when she had 6 kids, her oldest son got very, very sick and this would have been in like the 1940s, early 50s, maybe let's say early to mid 50s, and she had to go spend 7 weeks in Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic.
Wow!
And you talk about that was 70 years ago, but it's like we didn't have the specialists or whatever was needed here in Indiana, and to uproot your life and leave your other 5 kids and your husband behind, and just she talks about living out of a hospital room in Minnesota, and it was like. That's wild. I don't like that you used to think about.
Should not have to do
that. And I don't know. This might have been. I don't know when the Ronald McDonald House or whatever was created, but I don't know if that was around in the 50s. But she said it was a crazy experience, and so.
And even for those who come a little bit far away, I mean, we see patients from everywhere, like Fort Wayne, Evansville, Crown Point, name it. Sometimes it's a little bit far, and we do have the resources. Like within Riley Children, there's a Ronald McDonald House. And we do have a lot of donors and people that we work with, and to provide some accommodations near the hospital too. So we do have all the resources that you can think of and imagine, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I do want to talk about when you're doing something this specialized, like fetal surgery, again, it just blows my mind. I literally feel like I'm in the studio with the superhero today. Take us through the first time.
Yeah.
You are in charge of a surgery to help, whether it's repair spina bifida or the TTTS surgery, or is it surgery?
Yeah, you got it.
Come on.
Look at you.
Sign me up. Let's go. Take us through what that feels like.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine, again, I post videos and host a podcast.
Yeah.
It's not life-saving work here, but I can't imagine having that much pressure.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind?
It's definitely a lot of pressure. I wouldn't say pressure from necessarily my peers or the hospital or anything. It's just me as a person trying to provide the best for my patient. And I think no matter how many procedures you do, you still get the same feeling of sometimes people tell me, oh, you're very possessive of your patients. That's like a wrapper to you build, and you truly become family to them. I mean, I scan their kiddo throughout pregnancy, and I see them frequently, and I'm the one who gives them those news and all about procedures. So it's a very frightening time. So we get connected, and I become very protective and careful of their health and baby's health. So I think if any pressure is just from me as a physician trying to do my best for my patient, if that makes sense.
Well, it's like for you, it might be your 100th or 200th time doing this procedure, but for them, it's the only time.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Just like you, they've never heard of it. No. Most of the time, like in their wildest dreams, like they wouldn't think someone will tell them, oh, I have to go in your room and do this, right? Yeah. So it's scary. I mean, it's not you're telling them only bad news. You're telling them, oh, I have to do surgery on you.
What's more challenging, delivering the news for the first time and having that conversation, or doing the actual procedure?
I think they both are very equally challenging, in complete honesty. Sometimes you get patients react differently to news, right? Like if you get bad news, sometimes you get angry or in denial, or like you don't know what is she saying. Like are you serious? You want to poke me? Like sometimes you get that reaction, and you just have to be calm and understanding and put yourself in their shoes. No matter how much you know, just remember this is like, just like you said, in their wildest dream, they would not even imagine that.
Having difficult conversations are never easy. You know, like breaking up with your middle school girlfriend was like the greatest. And then it's like,
that's not easy too.
Oh gosh, like I was like, I just remember like sitting there.
That's different type of horror.
But it's like the conversations can be so hard to just get going and put yourself in their shoes. Like this is the biggest news they may ever receive in their entire life.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, with time, you get calmer. People know me. I'm like extremely calm, especially during the procedure. Like nothing, like I don't like get shaken if something. So we do all kind of other procedures. Like for example, I lead the placenta accreta program. That's like a different thing. But these are procedures that can be very bloody, okay? Placenta is growing inside the uterus and could bleed. So you as with time, you build that type of persona. You become calm and you don't let blood shake you down or complications. You just deal with it.
Just deal with it.
Just deal with it.
I just think being a mom and being pregnant, and you're already under all, being a pregnant woman, being pregnant in this day and age, you get messages thrown at you all the time. Do this, don't do this, make sure you do this, make sure you don't do this. And then to add on top of it, going in and having an ultrasound and having that ultrasound tech be like, I'll be right back, I need to go get a doctor. And then you have to go in, and then to have somebody with the confidence and the calm demeanor and the kind of full scope of services that Riley have to sit there and have that conversation with you is so important, because then you can go in as a mom and know this is terrifying, but she's got me. Like I'm taken care of here.
Yeah, definitely agree. That's the feeling most Riley patients get.
I mean, to really put it down, it's like customer service almost, or like that. But you have to build trust. Like they have to trust you to like, and have this operation.
By the way, it also comes from the referring providers, because during whatever you do, you have to build that very good relationship with providers across Indiana. So because those are the people who are going to refer to you. And if they trust you and they have, good rapport with you, they will transfer that to their patients. I'm sending you to Riley. They're excellent, and they'll take an excellent care of you. This patient comes to me already loaded with that information, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, of like, the older I get, the more I realize that not every doctor is created equal. Not every doctor has the same specialties. So I grew up in rural northern Indiana. So like I grew up thinking, oh yeah, our family, he just is a genius. Like, he knows everything. Like, he knows everything. And then you get through and you realize like my mom did cancer treatment up at Goshen. And then I hear like, oh, well then there are other cancer centers around the country that might be like this next tier of better specialists or this or that. And like learning that, doctors have specialties and things that they're good at. And some are, I don't want to say better or worse, but like some get like, there's only 20 of you in the world or in the country. Yeah. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we know each other really well.
Yeah. That's, wow. What do you think the biggest misconception is around like specialized medicine or just like the job, right? Like, people come to you, it's their worst, like, their worst day, like really hard stuff. Yeah. What's like,
I think
subsequently their best day.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I think nowadays in the era of social media, that you, just like you said, you can get loaded with information, right? If you Google anything, then social media starts showing you all the videos related to what you Googled. So that might have a negative effect into kind of hearing other stories that might not be related to you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the fact that you have twins, it doesn't necessarily mean you're exactly like that person's story or this person's story, if that makes sense.
How long have you been in the field of medicine from like beginning of med school?
So that's 2007.
2007. Okay.
Yeah.
So I even imagine from 2007 to now, the amount of people, because of the access to information, it's like, well, ChatGPT told me this, that, or the other
open
thing.
evidence, ChatGPT, blogs, social media, Insta, TikTok. Every mom now, sometimes they post their child's stories. And so patient come to me, I saw this mom on TikTok and she said this and that. And I joined this group who the kiddos have the same condition. And I tell them, that's great, having support is good, but just make sure you don't translate everything to you. Like, things are different.
Oh my!
You are an individual patient, and what happens to one child, what happens in one fetal surgery, what happens in one situation can be completely different from you and your own experience.
I had a discussion with someone from the Simon Cancer Center, and they talked about I can't remember the doctor's name, apologies, but he is like the guy who treated Lance Armstrong from testicular cancer.
Oh, wow.
And he has his own like subreddit where guys that get diagnosed with testicular cancer have like found him and like come from Reddit.
Oh,
and
wow.
they come to Indianapolis to get treated. And I was just like, the power of like community and social media, it's like can be so good. And then on the other side, it's like it can be very scary. Like WebMD, everything is the worst thing ever. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
I do want to talk more about Riley, the whole organization, you know, from the foundation to health and how it's all working. And I know, Meghan, that's kind of like you are in marketing and communications for the foundation, correct?
Yes. So what we do is provide support for a multitude of different programs, a lot of different core pillar areas for Riley Children's Health and the research arms.
Is this like, is Dance Marathon fall under the foundation?
Dance Marathon, yes. Our youth philanthropy.
Yes. Casey Krause was like really involved
on our board.
He's on the board. Yes. He is a dear friend of mine. And
he's wonderful.
He sings, and my cousin Hunter Haynes was also on the board at IU's.
For IUDM.
They have a huge,
the biggest.
Yeah, the biggest, right? Okay, so that's like a piece of it.
Yeah, so what we do is from your smallest community fundraisers, your 5Ks, you're rounding up at the register at Costco and Walmart to transformational gifts of $5 million or more. Like all of that flows through the foundation to support Riley Children's Health and the aims of transforming children's health and improving outcomes for kids across the world. I think we launched our $300 million campaign, Every Child Deserves Riley, publicly in March of this year at the Red for Our Kids Gala. Red is our pinnacle fundraising event, and by that I mean it's been going on for 3 years. So, hey. But what we did at that event this year was launch this campaign. It's the most ambitious campaign in Riley history. We are aiming to raise that $300 million. We're at about $225 million to date.
Hey,
I know.
Well, our data had it at 200, so let's go. We're rocking and rolling.
We launched in March at just over about $215 million. That is typical for comprehensive campaigns like this. We had the leadership phase for a few years where we were, forming those deep connections with high dollar donors and kind of the feasibility study of how much can we raise, and of all those aspects. And then we developed the campaign Look, Feel brand, launched that. Our 5 pillars are around recruit and retain, family support services, so child life and school program, like I mentioned. And then we also have research, which is a big one, mental health, which is a big one. And then access is also one of our key areas, making sure that every child has access to the services that Riley Children's Health provides across the state and across the country.
Hey, Indiana, if you're a business owner with big plans, listen up. Whether you're expanding, renovating, or breaking ground on something brand new, you need a banking team that's ready to back your vision. That's where my friends on the Elements Financial commercial banking team come in. These folks are based right here in Indy, and they're known for something rare. They look for reasons to make things work, not excuses to say no. That's the kind of mindset that moves Indiana forward. They've got tools to help you build, grow, and thrive. We're talking commercial loans for real estate, construction and equipment, business checking, savings and certificates, treasury management and credit card processing, lines of credit to keep things moving. So if you're ready for better banking built around your goals, head to elements.org/getinbiz. That's elements.org/getinbiz. Elements Financial, like a bank, only better. Federally insured by NCUA, an equal housing lender. Now let's get back into the episode. I have 2 questions for you.
Yes.
First, coming from Iraq to Indiana, like when you get here, what were your thoughts, the feelings? How does it feel to come and be part of? How long have you been in Indiana now?
How long? We've been 3 years now.
3 years?
Yes. I've been also in the East Coast, if you remember. I bounced between Midwest and East Coast. And as a family, I have my husband and my 3 kids with me. As a family, we just got drawn to the Midwest. And I'll be very honest here. The kind of like the family, the culture and the family connections and the strong community that we had back home, we just found it here. Just having the friends of my kids in school and seeing the good families, good kids, being in a very strong knit community, we loved it here.
How did you pick, like, what part of town? What part of?
We're in Carmel.
Okay, how did you land on, like, when you were doing your research and figuring out schools?
Yeah.
So, okay, you saw that one like viral TikTok of
I was like, where are good schools? And just popped
There you go.
immediately. I have him now. He's gonna be a high schooler, and I have 2 in elementary school.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you landed in Carmel. That's so awesome. I love hearing that. And then the final question I have for you is, what does the state of Indiana need to know about Riley Children's Health?
Megan said it really beautifully. Like any service you can think of, it's available at this hospital, from mom and from baby. Sometimes providers call our maternity service. So now it's not Riley, like sometimes I read comments, oh, but I thought they only take care of children. It's not. It's mom and the baby nowadays. So this is very important to know. And sometimes providers call us, do you offer this? We offer everything. Like any procedure you know of that some people offer it, I don't know where in the world, we do offer it here.
Do you have people that just come in and are like, I want to, like they didn't get like prior referred to you all? There's like come in like, hey, we're pregnant and we want to.
Oh yeah, we get that all the time. And we offer also new innovative things. So nowadays we offer something called laser for vasa previa. These are vessels that's on where the baby comes out from, so she cannot have vaginal birth. We do have a giant program for placenta accreta, the one I told you about. This is a very scary condition, requires level 4 maternity care. So our maternity tower is level 4, and that's not everywhere.
Is that how is level 4 the highest?
Oh, it's the highest.
Yeah.
It's the highest.
4 out of 4.
Yeah.
And what's even more unique about it, we have an adult ICU in the maternity tower in the children's hospital. So I don't think that exists anywhere else. In complete honesty, we can do some statistics and research, but I think this is the only children's hospital with a maternity tower that has adult ICU staffed by 24 hours critical care physician. So it's literally if a mom had any high-risk condition, complication, whether she or the unborn baby or the born baby, Riley can provide those services.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I have one final question. We have 64 seconds left
Let's
before you
do
have to
it.
go back to save some lives. When you're not, down at the hospital, literally saving lives, like performing surgery.
What do I do?
What do you do?Here are you hanging out at? Where did you find?
I love to travel. I love traveling, but if I'm not traveling, nowadays I turned into a gym girly.
Oh.
I used to be an outdoor person, focusing on cardio. So nowadays I'm more into strength training. So,
Yeah. Where do you train at?
I do Lifetime.
Nice.
So I try to kind of like work on. The older you get, you realize you have to do resistance training.
There you go.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Where around Central Indiana makes you feel the most like home?
I always tell my husband, once I get the parameter of this city, I feel weird feeling. I feel calm.
Yeah.
because I'm getting closer to home and kids, and that's my safe space kind of thing. So
absolutely.
like honestly, and I feel the same with like the whole Hamilton County and North Indy.
Yeah,
all good.
I love it. Well, hey, thank you so much for one, coming on the show, and
Yes.
two, for the incredible work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank
Like
you for
my
having
mind
me.
is still blown.
Thank you for having me.
And
Appreciate it.
yeah, oh my gosh, keep up all the great work.
Thank you.
Like I can't wait to like
Yourself
see
too.
your Nobel Peace Prize in a
Yeah.
few years or whatever it might be. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
One thing that you mentioned that really interested me was Indiana's youth mental health crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you know Casey Krause and New Shoe Day and all the work that they're doing. I run every Wednesday with them. And I know that this is a huge issue. And I think through social media and just like, it's hard to be a kid today. And I know you guys are doing a ton of work there, and I'd love to hear more about it. I think the stat we saw was nearly almost 1 in 2 high schoolers report of having struggled with depression.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the stats vary based on where you are and what state you're in. You know, Indiana tends to trend a little low nationwide in our youth mental health. And so one of the things that Riley at the foundation side and Riley Children's Health has done is dive into evidence-based research on some of these ways to mitigate the youth mental health crisis. So one of the things that they found was having that embedded mental health resource in a pediatrician's office. So if you're a parent and you're taking your child for their checkup and you're like, hey, you know, my kid's been having a lot of just like anxiety and, you know, just some intrusive thoughts around this, that, or the other, your pediatrician can assess and have that mental health resource in their office to kind of have that conversation to see, okay, like what should we do next? Is this something that we need to elevate to a more regular conversation, or can I provide tools and resources that they need here? And so being able to do that, and that was funded through a grant from the Lecklighters, from the White Oak Foundation Lecklighters, and the state, the FSSA. So there was a kind of $8 million gift that we received from John and Sarah Lecklighter that provided support for these embedded resources across the state.
Across the state is the one of the cool pieces of that, I would say, through, you know, whether it's suburban, whether it's urban, whether it's rural Indiana. And especially like it's nice to live in central Indiana where there is this, you know, Riley Children's Hospital. It's like there's a lot of resources that tend to be congregated where a lot of people are. But as you get up into like my hometown, like I think we had one primary care doctor in town, maybe like the family doctor, classic, right? But
and this allows for access across the state for no matter where you live, no matter what kind of community you come from, and you don't have to travel for it. You can have it in your own office, in your own like comfortable pediatrician's office.
Talk to us about some of the other initiatives. You had mentioned Camp Riley, like where this, you know, you're doing a $300 million campaign, supports 5 pillars, which are, I mean, obviously all supporting, but where do we see this at work in our community?
Camp Riley is one of the most visible. Every summer, over 300 kids come and are allowed to experience camp, which I think a lot of us take for granted of like, yeah, of course you go to camp. This is something where these are kids who run the spectrum of physical and cognitive disabilities. They can come and or cognitive and physical diagnoses. They can come and do everything. They zip line and they go water skiing and they do all the fun things that kids experience at summer camp in a way that's safe for them. So it is supported through Riley, and there's Riley Care there to make sure that these kids are safe and supported and to make sure their families feel comfortable allowing them to go there. It is truly a magical experience for some of these kids. They come back year after year. And then they also have a way to come where the foundation and donors remove the financial barriers to that. So no camper is ever turned away for financial reasons. We also have, and this is one that's a little less visible in the community, but still just as important, is through our research, Riley affiliated research. So the IU School of Medicine and the Department of Pediatrics and the Wells Center, they are doing some of the most incredible research to help kids and to help these conditions, whether they are treatments or procedures. And so one example is with type 1 diabetes. So our research arm through one of the laboratories, has come up with a drug that can delay the onset of type 1 diabetes. We're using it on kids. It's been tested. It's approved. It's FDA approved. And so these kids now can delay the onset of type 1 for, I can't remember the exact amount of time, but it is life-changing for these kids. And it's truly an example of the work being done in a lab that translates to actual clinical care and actual lives of children.
Are you originally from Indiana?
I am.
What part?
Early childhood in downtown, kind of central Indiana, near East Side. And then we moved to Greenfield. And then now I live downtown.
Did you go to Greenfield High School?
I went to Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon. Go Marauders. Come on. And then where'd you go to school?
So I went to DePaul.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's go Tigers. Come on. Did you think, growing up from the Near East Side, you go to Greenfield, that you were going to end up working at Riley?
So I was a Riley kid. I was a Riley kid for about 10 years of my life through a chronic kidney condition that I had. And no, because I think I'd spent so much time in the hospital in and out from different appointments that I was like, I never want to be in this building again. But then I grew up and I started working in different, I was always drawn to medical communications, and I knew I was never going to be a doctor, not because I have a fear of blood or anything, it's just too much math. So it turned into, how can I support medicine and how can I be involved in medicine, but still using my liberal arts DePaul education.
Absolutely. Where was the moment where it clicked of like, this is what I'm called to do?
So I started at IU Health on the adult side doing supporting neurosurgery and neurosciences. And I think that's where I had that aha moment of, oh, this is comfortable. Like, this feels right. This feels like not only am I, having to stretch my skill, but I get to feel good about the work I'm doing. I get to see it making a difference in lives. And then when I went to the Riley Children's Health side and supported marketing at Riley Children's Health, and you're working with kids, and I wasn't a parent when I started at IU Health, but was when I started at Riley. And I think that's when you walk in the door and you see these children, and they will break your heart and they will put it back together again. And they are incredible and brave and just wanting to be kids. And what I do is help them just be kids. Like, they shouldn't have to deal with many of the things they deal with. And yet here they are taking it in stride. And when you see a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, even younger or older, who is going through unimaginable conditions, and they are happy and they are playing and they are able to just exist as a child in the world, that's really where the meaning comes in. And how could you not want to do what I do?
It takes a lot of courage and strength, and you talk about these kids that every day it's like you need inspiration to get out of bed. It's like,
here's a story.
Exactly. Yeah. If we want to close out, like, do you have a story? How long have you been with Riley?
So I have been with the foundation since 21.
So over the last 4 years, is there a story that has just always resonated with you or stuck out of that you're in the right place?
Probably Owen Lauer, he was one of Dr. Mustafa's patients, actually. And he is the child who, his mom, they did an ultrasound and they found a tumor on his neck that was bigger than his head. And they were able to go in and through all manner of interventions, were able to partially deliver him, establish an airway, and then fully deliver him, remove the tumor. And now he turns 2 in October, and his parents are just these wonderful people who, he had a Harry Potter first birthday, and he's just this adorable, sweet baby who wouldn't have the quality of life he has without Riley. And so I think, he's one. And then we have what's called the Riley Champions program. It's sponsored by Kroger, and they come in, and every year we select around 10 kids with these incredible stories. Another one that sticks out is, her name's Briley. She lives in Terre Haute, and her family's car was hit by a drunk driver looking at Christmas lights, and she was in the hospital for over 500 days. She had her 16th birthday there. The first time she was allowed to leave was to go to the Taylor Swift concert because a donor provided a suite. And so we were able to kind of concoct this whole thing. We surprised her and a bunch of other kids, and we were able to take them to Taylor Swift. And then she has been discharged. And I was at the hospital the other day, and I was walking through and I saw her and her mom for a checkup and got to hug them and check in and see how they're doing. And she just is incredible. And like, these kids are truly incredible. And I am very lucky that I get to have them as part of my life every day.
500 days.
Yep.
I hope knock on wood, but I hope I never spend 50 days, like a cumulative of like, even like checkups. Like, I'm just like,
nope.
Man, these kids are incredible.
Yep.
And that is, again, you need motivation. You need any motivation on whatever day this ends up coming out. There it is right there.
Go pick up a Riley Kids magazine. Just go to our website. We have a ton. And then I think, the reason that I was even there is, we did just announce our new CEO, Courtney Roberts, and we were taking her to do a photo shoot and a video shoot, and she just is going to be one of the best additions to the foundation. She is a powerhouse, and I'm really excited to see how she leads us.
Where did she come from?
Ivy Tech Foundation.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. So we recently announced it. She starts, we announced last week, she starts with us in September.
Man, I could go on and on and on. If people want to get involved, are there, and you talked about the gala, you talked about obviously the youth fundraiser side of like dance marathon. What are ways people can get involved to help make an impact?
There's a lot of different ways you mentioned we do have Red for Our Kids. That's every March. Buy tickets, come to the gala. There's something called Experience Riley where you get to meet people like Dr. Mustafa and see the work they do. There's a lot of hands-on aspects of that.
Is there like
we had the Da Vinci robot there this year, so people got to come and play with the Da Vinci robot.
That's crazy.
Dance marathon, if you are college or high school and you have a dance marathon, participating in that is a wonderful way. Donating to kids who participate in that is also wonderful, or students who participate in that is a wonderful way. If you're looking for more community-based fundraisers, we have a whole community giving section of our philanthropic endeavors, so you can go and support Riley through a 5K. And then obviously, if you happen to have a few $1 million laying around and you want to help kids, we will happily take that.
You heard it here first. Amazing. This has been an incredible episode. Thank you for all the work that you're doing, that Dr. Mustafa is doing. Like, I think when all of these brilliant minds come together and make an impact, like for the kids, you can't beat that. I'm still, again, like, this has been my mind was blown several times throughout the journey.
I mean, I've talked to her many times, and she still is. The work she does still, and the work that many of those doctors do.
Yeah.
If you start talking to heart surgeons who operate on a heart the size of a strawberry, and you're like, wow, Dr. Turrentine.
I think that the most common way you think, okay, I donate to the Riley Children's Foundation and it's going to help families in our community, with whatever, like medical expenses. Like, it's like if you were saying very surface level. But then it's like, the recruiting and retaining piece of like getting the best talent, the one of 20 fetal surgeons in the country to come to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And like bringing this top level of talent to to Riley Children's Health downtown. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, and that can make it, I don't know how many surgeries or procedures Dr. Mustafa does in a year, but let's say it's 100. I don't know. Like 100 different people were impacted by that. That's nuts.
And then you think about the ripple effect of every child who comes in and is able to have a better outcome, thrive, and then the lives that they impact. Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Riley. And so you think about just the ripple effect that every kid who comes out of there with a better outcome that they're going to have on their families, on their communities, and the world. It's remarkable.
Remarkable. That's the name. Remarkable right there. We are going to round it out. There's 3 questions that I ask to every guest that comes on the show. The first one, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but what's something that the world needs to know about Indiana?
I think the impact of Indiana on sort of the global zeitgeist. So from motorsports, the greatest spectacle in racing, and music with Michael Jackson and Mellencamp, and like jazz that came out of Indiana. And then you look at the pediatric health side of it, like we're completely blowing the minds of the medical community and the research and things that we have coming out. And then, Purdue gave us the most astronauts.
Yeah.
Like, Indiana has had a crucial impact on global events, and I think we like to downplay it, but
Is that that's like the Vonnegut quote? That's like,
Yeah.
look at anywhere something big's going on and there's a Hoosier,
behind it,
something
yeah.
along that.
Yep.
Like that's like I need to
Oh
get
yeah,
that. Like
talk about authors. I mean, you got John Green here. Like
Yeah.
Come on.
it definitely punches above its weight class for
You
sure.
sure do.
Next question. This is where you get to share some love to something that maybe more Hoosiers need to know about. What is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Myriad Health and Fitness at the Stutz downtown. I am there every day.
Myriad?
Almost. Myriad Health and Fitness, yeah.
Okay.
So it's at the corner of the Stutz, and it is all CrossFit, yoga, high rocks now, like all sorts of things. And we have it there, and I love it. It's a community that has given me so much, and I would be remiss not to.
How old is it?
2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
in the
it's-
Stutz?
No, so it started on Delaware. The gym it was CrossFit Naptown then, I think.
Oh
And
yes, I remember that building.
yeah, so it was on Delaware, and then we moved to what is now the Pink Butter Building, and then moved into the Stutz a couple years ago.
Amazing. I love that. Myriad Fitness.
Myriad Health and Fitness.
Myriad Health and Fitness. Great one. Never had that one before.
Yeah,
I love
well.
when we get I love when we need to get a new hidden gem.
I mean, I feel like the food places are always easy. I'm like, yes, of course, Bodie. But like,
yeah, right. I like the interesting pulls. I'm always here for that. All right, finally, you get to share the love with another Hoosier, someone across, whether they're currently in our state or have maybe moved away somewhere, but someone who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar that's doing big things.
Brittany Roberts, my new boss.
Yeah, okay.
So she, she came to us, or will come to us from Ivy Tech Foundation, but she, before that, was at Lilly and kind of impacted global health with Lilly Foundation, and then before that, she worked for a couple of administrations here. But she's just an energy that I am grateful that I get to interact with, and she is very talented and very smart, and she'll just be a really good time. And I am excited to work with her at the foundation at Riley Foundation, and to see what we can do in our next iteration.
What, Riley, in some capacity, been around for 101 years. So here's to the next 99.
I know.
There we go.
We'll see what we can get.
I love it. This was an incredible episode. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa, for coming on and sharing, the crazy work being done in fetal surgery. Like, that's still wild to me that that's a thing. And the work being done, if the Riley Children's Foundation didn't exist, maybe Dr. Mustafa wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. So it's a great yin and yang that's working together to elevate the experience for kids that need Riley here in the state of Indiana. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing. If people want to connect with you, if they want to get plugged into the foundation, they have a few $1 million sitting around and want to make an impact across the Hoosier state, how can they connect with you and the foundation?
Yep, so RileyKids.org is our website. We are always answering emails. We are on except for TikTok, we're on all the socials at Riley Kids, so you can find us there, and I am easily accessible through those avenues too.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's a wrap on today's Nonprofit Spotlight, and I hope you're as fired up as I am about the work being done by amazing leaders right here in Indiana. Big thanks again to Elements Financial for sponsoring the series. As a credit union, they're not-for-profit and built on the idea of empowering individuals to achieve financial success. That's why they've been empowering Hoosiers and folks around the globe for 95 years. They're based in Indy, but they serve members in all 50 states and more than 50 countries, and they're serious about giving back, teaching more than 1,000 financial wellness classes every year, offering volunteer hours and donating 1% of net profits to causes that matter. So if you're looking for a financial partner that's rooted in purpose and proud to serve, check out elements.org/getin. That's elements.org/getin and use promo code GETIN. Elements Financial, like a bank, only better. Federally insured by NCUA. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time right here on Get In.